Hi, this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and welcome to week 11 of 52 weeks of using up scraps. And this time I just did some stamping on some muslin, and then I made some embellishments and tags and things. So here's one of the tags that I made. And I just used some of these sentiments are from Luise HEINZL Bingo. It's one of the kits that she has on Etsy, and I'll have a link in the description for it. And then I just did some stamping. I used the Stampers Anonymous Tim Holtz, the Professor 2. And I stamped multiple images of the Professor. And then I just ran some Glossy Accents and things like that over it. I did some stitching around the edges. And then I added some muslin with the stamped images on there. And some cheesecloth. And added it to some brown cardstock. And here's the second one. And some of these tags, these are leftovers from another project that I had. I think it was from last week. I did like steampunk time. It was clockwise from the Stampabilities paper line. And I just used the remnants of the tags from it and then added some of these on here. So then I added some old book pages, cheesecloth, and stuff. I might go through and punch some holes out and add some blue ribbon. I probably will do that, but this is what we have so far. So. And then I also made some of these little trinkets. Basically all these are just some words from my Life Words digital kit on Etsy, Multimedia Crafts Digital. And I just added it to some black cardstock, punched a hole, added an eyelet, and some jump rings, some jewelry, and then some of the stamped muslin. And I just turned each one of these into little jewelry pieces. Or embellishment pieces, or whatever you like to call it. You know. And then here's the final one. And these are really simple to do. So yeah, this is what they look like with the ribbon added. I decided to just go ahead and put it on there because to me it just looks better that way. So okay, so let me show you how I made these. Okay, so I have like a bunch of different things. I'm going to use some stamps from various companies like Graphic 45. This one is, I'm not sure which one that one is. And then I have some from Stampabilities that I might use. Tim Holtz, Stampers Anonymous, Ringmaster, Tim Holtz. This one is Things or Talk. I think that's what that is. I can't see too good. Yeah, Things Talk. And then this one's also Tim Holtz, Stampers Anonymous. The Journey Cling stamps. And then we have Artsy stamps and adhesive stencils. This particular one, it just says lot. I don't know, but here's the SKU. And it looks like this. It has like birds and everything like that. So basically what I want to do, I've got stamps. I've got these funny shaped scissors. I've got my regular scissors. I've got some archival ink. Color box, and I've got some scrap papers. I'm just going to make some maybe clusters or something, but my whole goal, and I also have some muslin. I'm just going to stamp on some muslin, and I wasn't sure how well it was going to turn out, but it did turn out pretty good. So I'm just going to make some, I'm just going to stamp on several of these and cut them out and just kind of put them together. So I wanted different images, and I wanted some sayings and just different things like that that could be put onto a cluster. So I think I'm just going to stick to the same color ink because I know that this archival ink shows up really well. So I've got this butterfly. And I'm just going to stamp it. And it turned out pretty well. Let me show you close up. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. And I think it looks super good against this muslin. That brown against the beige. I love it. And what I may do is when I have like leftovers like that, I might just create a pattern with the leftover ink that's on here and just stamp on some of these, the leftover ink, so I don't waste anything. So I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to randomly stamp some of these. So I might put this in fast forward movement so you don't have to sit and watch the whole entire thing in slow motion. Quite a few of these already stamped, and so I'm just going to randomly cut out some of the images, just enough so that they can fit onto a cluster of some sort. And some of them are going to have like frayed edges, so like this one I'm just going to kind of snip it a little bit and rip the rest of it. Take this down just a little bit. And I can keep these leftover pieces that have like stamped on it, because I can add those to part of the cluster too. But I just wanted like some small images like this. So I'm just going to go through and cut some of these out. Okay, so I'm going to focus on these tags that I had left over from last week's project, and I'm going to distress them. I'm just going to take some Distress Oxide, some black soot, and I might, depending on how dark it is, I might also go back over with some black tie by Ranger. So I'm just going to start out just kind of going around the edges of these tags. And I like to keep my scraps because, I mean, obviously You can use them with other projects as like a frame or something, you know, or a collage or a cluster or just whatever, you know. If this distress ink doesn't show up too good, then I might just take some alcohol markers. I think that's what I want to do anyway, and just kind of go around the edges. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so I have, this is Firefly. And there's a fine tip and then there's a broad tip. I'm just going to use the broad tip because my fine tip, the end on here, it's kind of almost out of ink. So I'm just going to use the broad end. And I'm just going to add some shadows. Oops. And I'm just going to come inside of here. I want to do the same thing to this. I'm just going to go around the edge. Okay, so this circle is approximately 3 inches wide. So I'm going to take a piece of scrap paper. Actually, I think I'll take a piece of black scrap paper and get my 3-inch circle punch. Here's my 3-inch circle punch. I'm just going to punch a hole. And this is going to kind of cover a portion of what I'm getting ready to do. And then I've got some double-sided paper of gray. I think I'll put this behind it. I'm just going to kind of build this up a little bit and see what I can come up with. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on. I'm just going to use some art glitter glue. And I'm going to try to just create something without thinking too hard about it. I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to line this up to the edge and then do the same thing with this at the top and the side. Then I'm going to glue this circle in here. But I'm going to leave just enough room to where it's like a moon. You know, so you can see that. Let me back up just a little bit. Then I'm just going to add this to some black paper. Actually, I'm going to glue this to some coffee dye paper. And then I'm going to take this marker again. This time I'll try to use the fine tip, if it'll work. And I'm just going to go around the edge. Let me zoom in. I might have to use a different pen instead of that pen. I had to get a different pen, just a regular ballpoint pen. Okay, so I got this glued on, and I've already went over a few of these with the ink pen. So I'm just going to cut this tag out. And I'm going to cut it out around the circle, to where the circle is protruding out from it. So this becomes a tag of its own. And then I'm going to put this on a black background. So let me just glue it on. Wondered if I should put a blue. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add a blue stripe in behind it. So I'm just gonna add some glue here and in the center. And I want to place this in the center of where the blue is. And then I'm going to glue all of it to the black. I'm just going to cut this out. So I'm going to set these to the side And I'm going to make some trinkets. And I've got 3 words, 3 little sentiments, and these are from my Life Words digital kit on Etsy. And I'd already had these out. So what I'm going to do with these, for this one, I'm actually going to glue it to this blue. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to leave like a little, an area to punch a hole right in here so I can add an eyelet to it. Let me slide this down just a little bit. I'm just going to cut this out. Make sure this is glued all the way. Well, you know what? That's fine. I'll just leave it as is. I'm just going to take this black marker and go around it. I'm just going to take the crocodile and I'm going to use the big circle punch. I'm just going to punch a hole. I'm going to do the same thing with this. Just going to punch a hole. And then I'm just going to add a brad. I mean, not a brad, but an eyelet. Okay, so now I'm just going to add one of these. A jump ring. And jewelry is not my thing, so I'm a little slow at it, while others are a whole lot quicker. It takes me a little bit to get these on here correctly, so bear with me. Okay, so I added some jump rings to all 3 of these. And now I'm going to take some of these. And I'm also going to punch a hole in them somewhere. And then I'm going to add a jump ring to it. Okay, so I added some jump rings to all of these. And so now I'm going to put some of them together and they're just going to become trinkets. Or charms or whatever you want to call them. So I'm just going to add a smaller jump ring to connect them together. And this will become like a really simple trinket. And voila, there you go. You got yourself a trinket, a charm. And I'm going to do all of these the same way. Okay, so I've gotten these done pretty much. I just added the jewelry, little jewelry pieces to it for them to become trinkets. So now I'm going to complete these. So what I'm going to do is I have the Stampers Anonymous. This is the Professor 2 stamp. Let me back up a little bit so you can see. Okay, so this is the Professor 2. So I'm going to stamp his face probably 6 times. And I'm going to use different inks each time. The first 3 times I'm going to use some black inks. Oops. Let me just slide these over here. And I'm going to use some Distress Oxide black soot. And I'm also going to use some of this Ranger ink black tie. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp him using blue. Because I'm going to cut these out. I mainly want to get his glasses. So I'm going to use some broken china and some peeled paint. I really like that blue. And I like the green. And I'm going to use some vintage photo. I think I'm going to go back over it with blue again. I'm going to fussy cut these out. Okay, so I got all these cut out, and I'm going to go over them with some Distress Oxide. Each one of them. Just around the edge, and stress them to give it that vintage look. And also to bring some color into the picture. Okay, so I'm going to glue him onto some black cardstock just so he'll pop, you know, so he'll be like noticeable. Or actually, you know what, instead of black, I think I'll use brown, because he's going to go up against a black backdrop, so I think brown against black would look better than black against black. So I'm going to let him dry a little bit, and then I'll cut him out. And what I'm going to do with these are going to be the black, these are going to be the base of the glasses. And now that I think about it, I think I'm just going to have the circular part cover it. And then I'll have the black frames. Let me just take this little piece off of here. I think that'll look better. Not 100% sure, but I think it'll look better. So I'm going to take the black marker and go back over the pieces that I just now cut out. Go back over those edges so it'll show better. And then for these edges, I'm just going to color them black. And then I'm just going to glue these over top of it. Wait a minute, make sure I get it turned the right way. This goes like that, yeah. This is going to go here. And I left this little piece right here. Let me zoom back out just a little bit so you can see better. So I'm just going to cut that down. Okay. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the black ink pen again. Let me just zoom in. I'm just going to go around where the glasses are. Okay, so I finished taking the pen around most of these. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue this brown onto his eyes. I'm hoping that I got it turned the right way to give it some justice. And now that that's on there, I'm just going to take some Glossy Accents. Let me zoom in. And I'm going to go around each one of these. Let me zoom in so you can see. I'll go ahead and do him first. And I'm going to let that dry. I want to do these the same way. Okay, so while I let those dry, I'm going to focus on these. So I'm just going to take a piece of old book page, and then I'm also going to take remnants of some of the man, and I'm just going to collage him onto here. And then I'm going to distress it. And then I think I'm going to stitch around the edges. Okay, so I stitched around the edges of some of these. However, I don't like the back of it. It's just, it is horrible. So I'll leave this one with that being coffee dyed paper, but I don't like the back of this with all that showing. So I'm just going to glue these onto some brown cardstock. I'm going to glue both of them. Okay, so I've got the backings on them. Now what I'm going to do is take some Distress Oxide, and in the areas near where I have the man, or half of the man, I'm just going to kind of color it in, like add some shadow near him. Now I'm going to take the pen I'm going to go around his hair, or his image, similar to how I did the other one. Okay, so these are still a little damp, but I'm just going to let them dry anyway. But I'm going to go ahead and place these on here. Let me back up just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and put him on. Actually, I should put some cheesecloth behind him. Let me just set this here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue here and open up this cheesecloth. Then I'm going to glue him on top of that. Make sure he stays. And if I need to, I can always cut some of it if it's too much. So this is what we have so far. And I'm going to add a sentiment or something on here. Okay, so I found some little sentiments, and these are from Luise HEINZL's Bingo kit. I can't think of it. I'll have a link in the description. But yeah, I figured this would look pretty good on here. And so that's pretty much it. So I have the 3 cards, and then I have some of these little trinkets. And they all kind of fit the same style somewhat. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, and this video was inspirational, and maybe you'd like to try to make some of these yourself. And just basically stamping on some muslin. It's really simple. Just throw some stuff together, glue some stuff together, and just have fun with it. So please watch if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like, comment, share, follow. Check out my other videos, my blog, my social media sites, and as always, thanks for watching.